Number 1. While spending time outside with her children, a mother noticed something unusual hidden among the leaves. When she looked closer, she saw a caterpillar whose markings strangely resembled a human face. Surprised by the discovery, she recorded a short video and later shared it on the internet. After the video spread online, people had many different reactions. Some viewers jokingly suggested it might be something alien, while others believed it could be a rare type of insect. A few even guessed it might be the result of a mutation. Of course, it could simply be a visual illusion caused by the caterpillar's patterns or the angle of the camera. Still, the appearance is unusual enough to make many people feel a little uneasy. Number 2. While exploring some old ruins, a person took several photos of the area. Most of the pictures looked normal, but one image seemed different from the rest. In the photo, there is an abandoned stone building partly covered with vines, and a bright field stretches out in front of it. However, when looking more closely at the grass in the center of the picture, a faint shape that looks like a human figure can be seen. The figure appears almost transparent. After the photo was shared online, people began offering their own ideas about what it might be. Some thought the shape looked like a soldier standing in the field, while others believed the image must have been edited or altered. Since no details about the location or its history were provided, it is impossible to know the real story. It remains unclear whether the place was ever a battlefield or if the strange figure is simply a visual trick. Number 3. On August 31st, 2025, Canadian Paralympian Lisa Franks decided to spend the night camping alone in her van beside a quiet river. The area was remote, with only farmland somewhere nearby. She had already spent the previous night there without any problem, so it seemed like a peaceful place to rest.
Going to sleep around 11 o'clock, and I hadn't really fallen into deep sleep, and I heard this bang on the front of my vehicle, and then I could feel that my vehicle was being pushed, and I am just camping out on Crown land right along a river. There's farmland nearby, but I haven't seen anybody all day. I was also yesterday and last night, and immediately I just thought, like, it's a Friday night, there's another vehicle had pulled in or something, and people were messing around, or maybe they thought the camper van was abandoned and were trying to break in or do something. But yeah, I heard this bang on my front end, and my van was being pushed. Like, I thought maybe then a bunch of people were just messing around, some teenagers or something, and rock on. So I yelled, "What are you doing?" Like, actually I said, "What the F are you doing?" Just to let them know there's somebody in the van. And then didn't hear any, voices or anything. Didn't hear any footsteps, which was weird. But immediately, I was jolted awake. And then I didn't hear anything. And then all of a sudden, right at my back window, like right up here, I heard something too. Like, it was, wiping my vehicle or something. And I'm obviously freaked out at that moment. I grabbed my keys and I grabbed my cell phone and the flashlight on and I pulled my window covering down, which was kind of silly, but I pulled the back window covering down to try to look out, but it was pitch black. But I heard like another, it just hit to my vehicle. And so I put the window covering back up and I beeped my key fob. So I make like a little beep beep to, I don't know, just let them know.
Sometime shortly after midnight, the calm night suddenly changed. She had gone to sleep around 11 p.m. and was only lightly sleeping when a loud bang hit the front of her van.
And again, I heard another hit. And so then I just started my vehicle. I put my Ford app on my phone, and I started my vehicle. And I think that scared whatever.
Almost immediately, she could feel the vehicle being pushed. Since it was a Friday night, her first thought was that someone might have driven into the area and was fooling around or trying to see if the van was empty. Trying to scare them off, she shouted loudly from inside the van to let them know someone was there. Strangely, there were no voices in response and no sound of footsteps outside. The silence felt unsettling. When morning arrived and daylight revealed the scene, the mystery finally made sense.
Just right here. And you can see like a dirt paw right on my window there. trying to look on the actual dirt. I imagine once I go out there, I'm going to see more evidence, but that was not there yesterday. Definitely not. Oh, wow. Yeah, paw prints out there. More there. Something was trying to get in.
Paw prints were visible on the windows and around the van. Marks in the dirt and on the glass showed that an animal had been investigating the vehicle during the night. It turned out the disturbance wasn't caused by people at all, but by a bear that had likely been searching for food. Number 4. A man was riding along a bike trail when he suddenly came across an unexpected situation.
No mames.
In the middle of the path, someone was standing still and appeared to be focused on their phone instead of paying attention to the surroundings. Because of this, the moment quickly turned awkward and confusing. When the incident was shared online, many people began discussing who was responsible. Some argued that the cyclist should have been more aware of what was ahead on the trail. Others believed the person on the path should not have been standing right in the middle, especially while distracted by a phone. Many felt that blocking the trail was likely the bigger issue, but opinions were still divided. Number 5. Just after midnight, a couple were driving home from a concert along the dark and twisting stretch of Highway 17. The road was quiet, and visibility was limited as they moved through the night. Suddenly, the driver noticed what looked like a person standing in the middle of the road. Startled, he quickly swerved the car, convinced he had almost hit someone. Later, still shaken by the moment, he decided to check the footage from the rear dash cam. Strangely, the recording showed the road behind them completely empty. There was no sign of anyone standing there. When the footage was shown to others, the mystery only deepened. It appeared as though the figure had suddenly appeared just moments before the car reached that spot, even though nothing could be seen earlier in the recording. To this day, the couple still has no clear explanation for what they thought they saw on that lonely road. Number 6. While exploring deep inside an Australian forest, an adventurer drove their car through a rough and overgrown path. Thick bushes and fallen branches snapped under the tires as the vehicle slowly pushed forward through the dense vegetation. The journey seemed manageable at first, but the terrain was clearly unpredictable.
Right.
What?
Suddenly, a loud cracking sound echoed through the forest, and the vehicle came to an immediate stop. When the camera revealed what had happened, it became clear how serious the situation was. A large branch had forced its way through the front of the vehicle. It had narrowly missed the driver, making the moment an incredibly close and dangerous call. Number 7. A woman named Liliana from Chile recorded something unusual while filming the ocean. In her video, several shapes could be seen moving smoothly beneath the surface of the water. The figures glided through the waves in a way that immediately caught people's attention. After the clip appeared online, viewers began sharing different ideas about what it might show. Some suggested the shapes were most likely a group of whales swimming just below the surface. Others thought the movement looked strangely human, which led to comparisons with mythical sea creatures like mermaids. What made the moment feel even more mysterious for some people was the timing. The footage was recorded shortly after a powerful earthquake occurred off the coast of Russia. Because of this, a few viewers wondered if the disturbance in the ocean might have pushed unusual marine life closer to the surface. Number 8. While taking their dog for a walk through a quiet park, someone came across something unusual that immediately caught their attention. On the ground was a small handmade doll that appeared to be covered in what looked like melted candle wax. The doll even had strands of real hair attached, which made the discovery feel even more strange. Along with the doll was a handwritten note. Only one name was written on the paper: Christopher. The way everything was arranged didn't seem accidental. Instead, it looked carefully placed, which led some people to believe it might be connected to a ritual or meant as a symbolic curse directed at someone with that name. The scene left many wondering what the real story behind it could be. Number 9. A woman was hiking and camping alone in the Australian wilderness when she experienced a very unsettling night.
I don't think I've slept one single minute the entire night. It's just so loud. There it is.
As darkness settled over the area, the wind began to blow strongly around her campsite. The constant noise and movement outside her tent made it difficult for her to relax or fall asleep. Throughout the night, she felt as if something might be moving around her tent. It could have been a wild animal wandering nearby, or possibly just the wind shifting branches and leaves in the dark. The sounds and the isolation made the situation feel more intense, and fear started to take over. Later, she admitted that her imagination may have made the moment seem more dangerous than it really was. Even so, the experience kept her awake for the entire night. By morning, she was exhausted, but still had to continue her hike. Hopefully, the next part of her journey would be much calmer and more peaceful. Number 10. While traveling through a remote rural area in Africa, a traveler noticed something unusual by the side of the road. A man was standing there, but one detail about him immediately stood out. One of his legs didn't appear normal. Instead, it seemed to resemble the leg of a goat, with what looked like fur and a hoof. After the sighting was shared, people began offering different explanations. Some believed it might be connected to stories of curses or supernatural practices, often mentioned in local folklore. Others were more skeptical and suggested it could simply be a staged trick, a costume, or even a special prosthetic designed to look that way. Whatever the truth may be, the sight was certainly unusual and left many people puzzled. Number 11. On the morning of May 9, 2025, a group of people set out on what was supposed to be an enjoyable trip. As they were driving along, they noticed another car following them very closely from behind. Thinking the other driver simply wanted to pass, the person behind the wheel decided to pull over to the side of the road to let the vehicle go ahead. Instead of passing, the situation suddenly took a dangerous turn.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
The trailing car moved in aggressively, turning the moment into what looked like a planned ambush. It happened quickly and could have ended very badly. Fortunately, the driver reacted immediately and managed to get the group away from the threat before things escalated further. The incident was captured on camera, and the footage was later given to the police to help with the investigation. Although the video provided investigators with useful information, reports said that as of July 10, the people responsible had still not been caught. Number 12. One snowy night, a young woman was walking alone through a quiet reservation area. The streets were calm and almost completely empty, with only the sound of the wind moving through the cold night. Suddenly, a loud scream broke the silence. The unexpected sound echoed through the area, making the moment feel unsettling. She quickly turned her camera around, scanning in every direction to see where the noise had come from. Despite looking all around, she couldn't find anyone nearby. The road remained empty, and she appeared to be completely alone. Even after the video was shared, no clear explanation was found. The source of the scream remains unknown, leaving the moment a mystery that still hasn't been solved. Number 13. A group of friends planned to spend the night in a forest near Manaus. As evening approached, they began setting up their hammocks between the trees so they could rest for the night. The forest was quiet at first, but the calm didn't last long. While they were getting settled, strange sounds started coming from deep within the woods.
pertinho, tá longe não. Bora, pai. Bora embora aqui, o negócio tá feio aqui pra aqui, ó. Olha a canoa lá embaixo, lá a canoa lá, ó. Tu é doido? Olha. Deus me livre, bora compadre. Tá no mesmo, ó. Bora, já tá rede aqui pra nem varar, ó. Ninguém vai dormir aqui não, é doido? Não vai dormir aqui não, de jeito nenhum.
The noises seemed very close, much closer than they were comfortable with. The group stopped what they were doing and listened carefully, trying to understand what they were hearing. The sounds didn't seem human, and the atmosphere around them suddenly felt tense and unsettling. Instead of staying to investigate, they quickly decided it was safer to leave. They packed their things in a hurry and got out of the forest as fast as they could. When the story was later shared online, people suggested different possibilities. Some believed the sounds could have come from animals like howler monkeys or even a jaguar. Others thought it might have been something more mysterious. Whatever the source was, leaving the area was probably the safest choice. Number 14. While exploring the remote eastern Amazon rainforest, a man flew his drone and captured something extraordinary. In the footage, an uncontacted tribe came into view, believed to be the Yawanawa. With only about 350 members, the tribe lives entirely off the land, remaining completely separate from modern society. Their isolation, however, is delicate. As deforestation spreads and outsiders move closer to their territory, the traditional way of life that has sustained them for generations faces growing threats. The footage serves as a rare glimpse into a culture that is slowly disappearing due to external pressures. Number 15. A TikToker was staying with his family near a remote cemetery in South America. One night, they decided to explore the area and started recording their visit. While filming, something shocking happened.
Elizabeth, ¿estás aquí?
Mira. Va a salir, compa. Mira cómo se mueve. Mira.
Está moviendo la tierra.
Mira, si quiere venir a enseñar más, mira. Te enseño, amigo. Mira. Elizabeth, sal. Se está manifestando, güey. ¿Sabes? ¡Un!
Cuidado.
Mira, güey. ¡Un!
¿Elizabeth?
Se está moviendo. Mira, se está moviendo. Se está moviendo.
At one of the graves, the soil began to move in an unnatural way, as if something underneath was trying to push its way out. The moment was caught on camera, and the clip quickly spread online. People reacted with a mix of fear and curiosity. Some believe it could be proof of a paranormal event, or even someone buried alive, while others think it might have just been an animal moving underground. Regardless of the explanation, the footage is undeniably unsettling. Number 16. A family went camping deep in the woods, far away from the nearest town. That night, they sat around a campfire, enjoying the quiet surroundings and taking a few photos to remember the moment. Everything seemed calm and completely normal at the time. Later, while looking back through the pictures, they noticed something they hadn't seen before. In the background, just beyond the line of trees, there appeared to be a pale, thin figure standing upright. Its shape looked almost human, but something about it felt off. After the images were shared online, people began comparing the figure to descriptions of a skinwalker. Others, however, believed it might simply be a person who ended up in the frame by coincidence or a trick of lighting and shadows. In the end, no one could say for sure what was really captured in that photo, leaving the moment open to interpretation. Number 17. In Argentina, a strange skull was discovered that immediately caught people's attention. Its shape was unusual, long and stretched in a way that didn't seem typical of a normal human skull. Because of its appearance, many began to question what it really was. Some people speculated that it could be something otherworldly, even suggesting an alien origin. Others compared it to creatures from Greek mythology, saying it resembled descriptions of mysterious underground beings, often mentioned in old stories. Despite all the theories, there are more realistic explanations as well. It could simply be a deformed human skull or the result of an ancient practice that altered skull shapes over time. Without proper scientific analysis, the true origin of the skull remains uncertain, leaving room for both imagination and debate. Number 18. About 3 years ago, around 1 a.m., Someone living in Flanders heard a strange noise coming from just outside their home. The night was completely still, with no wind or rain that could explain the sound. Curious and uneasy, they tried to figure out what might be causing it, but nothing seemed to make sense. There were no obvious sources nearby, and at that hour, even something like construction work seemed very unlikely. Despite their efforts to understand what they heard, the source of the noise was never discovered. The unexplained sound left behind an unsettling feeling and a question that still has no clear answer. Number 19. While hiking on Lone Peak Mountain, a person noticed something unusual moving in the distance. The weather was foggy, making it hard to see clearly, but through the mist they could make out a figure climbing up the slope. At first, it seemed like it might just be another hiker. However, the longer they watched, the stranger it looked. The figure appeared larger than expected, and the way it moved didn't quite match the steep and difficult terrain. Its steps seemed smooth and almost effortless, which made the moment feel unusual. The hiker wasn't able to get any closer, and could only record a short clip before the figure disappeared from view. Since the area has a reputation for sightings of Bigfoot, the experience left them wondering what they had really seen. It could have been something ordinary made to look strange by the fog, or something that's harder to explain. Number 20. Someone staying in a rented cabin deep in the woods woke up to an unsettling sight. Clinging to the netted door was a large insect that immediately caught their attention. At first, it looked similar to a mosquito, but its size didn't seem normal at all. Trying to make sense of it, some people suggested it could be a crane fly, an insect that is often mistaken for a mosquito and is usually harmless. However, this one appeared much bigger than what most people would expect, which made it seem even more unusual. The person shared the image online, hoping others could help identify exactly what it was. After that encounter, the peaceful feeling of the trip changed, as the thought of large insects like that being around the cabin made the stay feel a bit more uneasy. Number 21. A hiker shared a strange video on TikTok without giving much detail about it.
Ada tuyul boh. Gila.
In the clip, a tiny human-like figure can be seen walking near the edge of a forest. Its shape and proportions look like a very small person, which immediately caught people's attention. There are no obvious signs of strings, props, or editing, so at first glance, the footage seems real. This led to a lot of discussion online. Some people believe it might simply be a small child seen from a distance, while others think the size doesn't quite match that explanation. With no clear context or additional information, the video leaves everyone guessing. It could be something ordinary that just looks unusual on camera, or something that's harder to explain. Number 22. A user on Reddit once shared a strange photo they had taken years earlier during a trip with friends. The picture was captured using a simple digital camera. Later, while going through the memory card and deleting old files, they noticed one image that seemed different from the rest. In the background of the photo, something unusual could be seen that they didn't remember being there at the time. According to the person who posted it, there were no mirrors, windows, or reflective surfaces nearby that could explain the strange shape appearing in the image. They also mentioned that the house where they had stayed was known for odd occurrences in the past. Over the years, people had reported several unexplained events connected to the place, which made the mysterious detail in the photo even more intriguing. Number 23. Everything seemed normal as they made their way up, until they reached the last stone wall at the top. That's when things started to feel off. They began hearing footsteps nearby, but every time they stopped, the sound stopped too. At first, they assumed it was just echoes bouncing off the rocks, but the noise didn't come from one direction. It seemed to surround them. Then, the sound changed into something more distinct, like the clear rhythm of horse hooves hitting the ground. That was enough to make them uneasy, and although they tried to stay calm, they decided to leave quickly. Later, when they checked their photos, something else didn't add up. Most of the pictures came out blurry, even though the camera had been held steady. In one image, a strange figure could be seen, but in the very next photo, taken just seconds later, it was gone. It could have been a simple blur or camera issue, but for them, it felt like something more unusual. Number 24. Ben and Julie set out on an adventure into Mount Hood National Forest, a place often rumored to have sightings of Bigfoot. With only 24 hours and the help of an experienced Bigfoot tracker, they decided to fully explore the area and try their luck. They began by using common techniques, like knocking on trees to create sounds that might attract a response. Later, they even tried calling out into the forest, hoping to hear something back. For a while, nothing happened, and the woods remained quiet. Then suddenly, the silence broke.
Hear that? Oh my God. That was like a... Whoa, so weird. That was so weird. That sounded real.
Well, this tree is kind of moaning, but different sound.
That sounded like a deep, guttural, didn't it? That was wild. That was wild.
A deep, strange sound echoed through the trees, followed by creaking noises that made the moment feel intense and unsettling. The sound didn't seem like a typical forest noise, which left them both surprised and unsure of what they had just heard. When they returned to camp, they couldn't stop thinking about the experience. They debated whether it could have been something unusual like Bigfoot, or simply a bear or another animal making unfamiliar sounds in the forest. Number 25. Less than half a mile into a 2021 hike along the Appalachian Trail, a hiker began to notice some strange and unsettling sounds coming from nearby. The trail itself was empty, which made the experience feel even more intense. As the noises grew louder, it seemed like something large was moving through the trees just out of sight. The feeling was enough to make anyone nervous, as it sounded close and hard to identify. For a moment, it really felt like something unknown was approaching. Thankfully, the mystery turned out to be harmless. The sounds were coming from cows nearby, not anything dangerous. It was a reminder that sometimes things aren't as frightening as they first seem, but it's still always smart to stay alert while out in nature. Number 26. In the remote forest near Canton in Haywood County, a man named Justin came across something very unusual. While working on maintenance at a glamping site, he noticed a large burned object lying right in the middle of a trail. When he looked closer, the object seemed to be made from strong materials like carbon fiber, thick metal plates, and heavy bolts. It was so heavy that he had to use a lawnmower to drag it away from the path. The discovery immediately raised questions about where it had come from. What made the situation even stranger was the lack of any obvious explanation. There were no broken trees, no marks showing a crash, and no reports of loud noises in the area. Despite the unusual materials and its condition, no one could clearly identify what the object was or how it ended up there. leaving the whole discovery a mystery. Number 27. A woman was hiking alone along the Appalachian Trail. Earlier in the day, everything had gone well. The weather was calm, the trail was easy to follow, and she even shared a pleasant lunch with a friend along the way. Later on, as she got closer to a quiet shelter near the trail, she noticed a man sitting by himself at a picnic table. He was wearing bright orange clothing, which made her think he might be a hunter. When he motioned for her to come closer, he calmly told her that someone was trying to poison him. At that moment, something about the situation didn't feel right to her. The way he spoke seemed unusual, and it made her uneasy. She began to think that he might not be in a stable state of mind, or that the situation could potentially be unsafe. Rather than take the risk, she trusted her instincts and decided to leave immediately. As she hurried away, the man called out for her to stop and come back, but she kept moving through the forest as fast as she could. Adrenaline helped her push forward over rough ground and muddy sections of the trail. While still shaken, she called her father, who then contacted the authorities. Eventually, someone from the Forest Service went to check the area, and she was confirmed to be safe. Later that night, after reaching another shelter, she kept thinking about what had happened and wondered whether she had made the right choice or if she should have tried to help the man. It was a difficult moment where personal safety and concern for someone else collided. Number 28. While walking back to his campsite after dinner, a man noticed something unusual moving in the grass nearby. Unsure of what he was seeing, he took out his camera to get a closer look and started zooming in. As the camera focused on the spot, two glowing eyes appeared in the darkness, along with a small, strange-looking shape. For a moment, the image stayed blurry, making it difficult to tell exactly what it was. Just as the figure's face was about to come into clearer view, it suddenly disappeared. Considering the area and the way it moved, it might have been some kind of animal hiding in the grass, but not one that was easy to recognize right away. The brief sighting left the man wondering what he had actually seen that night. Number 29. On August 12, 2022, a man went camping alone deep in the Chilliwack River Valley, an area often talked about because of stories about Bigfoot sightings. The first night started off peaceful, but around 11 p.m., things began to feel strange. He heard heavy footsteps moving around his tent, as if something large was circling nearby. Earlier that day, he had stacked some rocks in a balanced formation. During the night, something seemed to disturb it. The top rock had been knocked off, while the others stayed in place, which he found unusual. The next morning, he looked around the area and noticed what appeared to be footprints on the hard gravel.
It's the next day. Now, this is the rock statue, the balanced rocks that we're talking about. This rock was knocked off of here. To give you some idea how high this is. This is perched on a large boulder, and it comes up to here on me. Okay, let's take a look around because I found something that's rather suspicious. Now, you see the ground here is hard gravel. Well, you listen to me step as the car passes. This is the steps, one after another. They were bipedal, meaning upright, one step after another. Do we see that? Do you see that? Because that's what I'm a size 12. Hey, look here. We have a heel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toes. This looks like a left foot imprint. Here, I can't cast it. It's probably not deep enough even to get a casting on that. But we can see.
The marks look like they came from something walking upright, and one of them even showed the shape of a heel and toes. The print seemed quite large, bigger than his own foot. The strange events didn't stop there. On the second night, while standing outside and showing the area around his camp, he suddenly heard a knocking sound somewhere nearby.
This is night 2. This is my last night here. I don't have to worry, but we're going to give you an idea here, just at night, what it is like around here, okay? Now, bear in mind, this is wild country. There are bears and cougars around, so I'm trying to make myself audible at all times and let them know that I'm here, okay? We can up the road here and down. This is Pierce Creek. Did you guys just hear that? Hey, my gear is in the camp, in the tent. A knocking sound.
The region is known for wildlife like bears and cougars, so he made sure to stay alert and make noise so animals would know he was there. Despite the sounds and signs he found, whatever had been around his camp never revealed itself. The experience left him wondering what had really been out there in the forest. Number 30. While hiking along the Appalachian Trail, a man paused to record a short video of the surroundings. He was mostly filming the tall trees and the scenery, not expecting anything unusual to happen.
Yo, these trees are crazy. Hello? No.
Suddenly, a loud scream echoed through the forest. The sound was so clear and intense that it immediately made him wonder if someone nearby might be in trouble. For a moment, the quiet trail felt much more unsettling. However, in wooded areas like this, strange sounds can come from many sources. It could have been a person somewhere in the distance, or possibly a wild animal making a call that sounded human-like. Without seeing where it came from, the true cause of the scream remained uncertain. Number 31. After finishing a long day of hiking, a man set up his tent and prepared to get some rest. The area was quiet, and he hoped the night would be peaceful after the exhausting trek. Just as he was starting to fall asleep, a strange sound suddenly woke him up. The noise quickly turned into loud howls, coming from somewhere in the distance. Hearing that in the dark made the situation feel tense, and he began to wonder if a wild predator might be nearby. He quickly closed up his tent, hoping to stay safe while whatever was outside moved on. The sounds continued for a while, leaving him unsure of what animal was making them. Thankfully, nothing came closer, and he made it through the night without any harm. Number 32. A man living in a wooded area started noticing unusual sounds coming from somewhere beneath his property. Curious and confused, he decided to record a video while trying to figure out where the noise was coming from.
6-foot hole dug here, and we've hit rock, but listen to this.
He had already dug a hole about 6 feet deep before hitting solid rock, but the strange sounds didn't stop.
I mean, it's really loud.
Even after reaching that point, the noise could still be heard clearly, which made the situation even more puzzling. When the video was shared, people came up with different ideas about what might be causing it. Some suggested it could be construction or activity happening underground, while others worried it might be related to a gas pipe or a possible leak. That explanation sounded especially concerning, since digging deeper in such a case could be dangerous. Despite all the guesses, the man was left without a clear answer, and the mystery of the underground sounds remained unsolved.